someone's going to say something to you. And if one person says you should put your baby in the microwave, that's one person out of 7 billion people. Like, you cannot take that stuff serious. I don't care.
But in fairness, didn't she kind of start this all by herself?
Yeah, but people start stuff, don't they? They do. They think they're going to win. They think they're going to be fine. Because he does seem crazy on the outside. They both seem crazy. And that's why they made, like, the couple they were. We had a week off.
We did have a week off.
Why did we have a week off? Do you know I actually freaking turned up?
Did you actually generally?
Completely forgot. Completely forgot. And I was like, oh, wait a minute. We're not. I didn't see your van. That is always haphazardly, can't even say that word, haphazardly parked somewhere out the front, just strewn.
It looks like it's been stolen, right?
It does.
Yeah.
It does.
That's how I drive it as well.
Yes.
Drive it like it's stolen.
I don't think that. I've seen you drive. You drive very responsibly.
So obviously I know what I've been up to. What have you been up to?
I have been out and about in the streets, letting people know how much money they've won.
I've seen that.
Yeah, they won a lot of money.
That lady that was crying.
Yeah, there was 185,000. So that's a lot of money, isn't it?
It is a lot of money. That's life.
There was 10 of them that won.
10.
10 of them won 185,000, and then 400 and something more people won just under 4,000 each. That's quite nice.
That's not a bad way to start.
Per ticket.
right?
So if you're playing with more than one ticket, then you won that double.
Wow. Yeah. Oh, we got somebody looking through the studio window.
Standard. We've got fans now. We've got 50 subscribers.
50.
There you go.
We're at 50 subscribers.
We're right there.
Well, obviously I did my big therapy session.
Yeah. You were saying before it was tough.
It was tough. It is tough. And obviously, I don't know, you've got to go through the emotions to get better, right?
For you?
For me, it did break me a bit.
Yeah.
And obviously I've got a few more of these to do. It's taken me, I don't know if the word settle down.
Is it forever?
What, continue doing this forever?
Yeah.
No. I couldn't do it forever.
You've still got what?
Expensive.
Another 46 hours?
Oh my
goodness.
Yeah, it's
So pretty much
Are
forever.
you writing a journal? Are you writing a diary while you're doing this as well?
in fairness, the woman's recording it all.
Wow. Do you get the tapes?
I don't know. I can ask, I suppose. Data protection, I suppose I could ask for him, but
That's
yeah,
hard hitting. I mean, I hardly listen to this, let alone listen to my own trauma.
yeah, literally the last one I did was last Friday, and that was very deep. I don't know. I felt like I got broken all over again.
Well, they have to break you to fix you, and it's
And
like the leg, isn't it?
Yeah, if your leg's set in the wrong place, you've got to have it broken to put it back in the right place. And
Ouch.
yeah, but it did mess me up. I'm not gonna, and I could see why some people get worse before they get better, because obviously reliving all the trauma, all the bits that trigger you, and all the rest of it, they're very good, but I think this is what I've gone through. So many therapists, you've got to find one that you trust, because like you said, you end up kind of, is it resenting them?
Oh, yeah.
To make you relive it.
I want to know your crap life.
Yeah, you tell me about your rubbish that's going on.
I don't want to just hear, because they must have so much. There's a thing called couples therapy that's on the BBC. I think it's a couple of series in, and oh my goodness. I mean, Americans are wonderful, but also very bloody honest.
That's very political. They're wonderful.
I'm so honest, it's scary.
Just be honest, there's a bit.
Is it to be too honest? Is it weird?
Yeah, it's but in fairness, they've kind of got the right idea. They've been at it for a little bit longer.
Yeah, a lot longer than us, because we're
and
still
they
kind
use
of
it
British.
as an MOT. Yeah, most films have always got a therapist at the couch. And
Yeah, but not if they're English.
yeah, no, I got a chair. My therapist is sat in the
Shaves
other
long,
chair.
just lay
and you're in a
down.
room. You've got a bit of a blind, a heater.
Is it helping?
It is helping. Yes, no.
Yeah, well, isn't that
If you ask me on the day, no.
Yeah, of course.
If you ask me a week later after my brain has kind of settled down and adjusted, it's kind of how it was explained to me is you kind of got to I filed it. My brain's been very clever, and it's filed the trauma and doesn't want you to deal with it and the emotions and bits and pieces. They filed it wrong. So obviously that's why you keep reliving or kind of it's messed you up. So the day we kind of went through certain things that had happened, And obviously they get you to, you kind of, it's a bit like a meditation, but it's not meditation. You kind of like close your eyes and they ask you what, you know, what can you smell around you, the noises, all that kind of, so you end up feeling, but obviously then you start filing it in the correct. So like a week later, I'm like, okay, that was justified why my brain's done what it's done. But obviously then I've got to go to the next stage and the next stage, and it's, the emotions are painful.
How do you deal with the anger that's been hidden or repressed, or maybe you've let some out but not really all?
Obviously this is where the stigma comes behind it still. Obviously still, because it's been drummed into me for so many years, you don't, like, I could feel myself, while we were going through the emotions, I could feel myself tearing up. The emotions, the anger, the upset, the scared, that you basically, in 2.5 hours, I kind of relived all the different emotions. And obviously you still, when you walk out, they tried to get you, is the word, grounding you back to in the present. But obviously it's taken me, what's today, Wednesday? So obviously it's taken from Friday to Wednesday, just kind of, it's painful. I don't want to have to live like this forever. So if I've got to go through this bit, to go through the emotions again and end up reasonably okay at the other end, I see it as a justified cause. But it's painful, it's emotional, it hurts.
I'm not a good attitude to have, though, wanting to know that you need to get better.
I'm doing it, one, for me, but I'm doing it more for, so my kids can end up with the dad that they should have had for all their life. Obviously, I hadn't realised from the age of 6. Now I've been dealing with so much that my brain's, I've ended up in a certain attitude towards life, and so like I could feel myself tearing up. So I kind of, the therapist was like, no, she could see what I was trying to do, was trying to take it from that I'm not in the presence there, that I'm trying to say this was what happened. No, put yourself in the position, because she could see that I was getting emotional, but that's the point of it. But I couldn't, even though I trust my therapist, I couldn't let the emotions out, because it's been drummed into me by my dad and men and the world that you live in. Don't cry, there's no, you're not that it was in there going, oh, don't show weakness. It was just a natural thing. Okay, take yourself away. Like, I got home and sat there for about an hour going, that's hard. And even by myself, I couldn't let myself cry or get too emotional about it. I'm like, no, pull yourself together. Come on. And obviously I had the kids that night, and it was hard work. And it is hard work to try and look at your kids and realise I didn't give them everything they should have had as a father, because I didn't realise I was broken.
I don't think any dad does, to be honest.
But like, we've had the discussion.
I want to give yourself a
your
hard time.
Your dad's supposed to be, as an image, a dad, and I think you'll agree with me, Callan, your dad is supposed to be strong. He's supposed to be, when the shit hits the ground, when you really need somebody like that, your mum's there for you to cry on, right? I wouldn't have afraid to cry on my mum. But your dad's there, like, yes, son, let's do this.
Even if you haven't seen your mum cry, I think you still find it fine to cry in front of your mum.
Like, I've only ever seen my father cry once in my whole life, and that was because his dad died. And even then, he didn't do it in front of me. I walked in, and he changed the subject and tried to pull himself together because of the...
Did you want to see him cry?
No, that's what I mean. It's the image in your head, like,
because I'd be like, "What's wrong with you?" You know what I mean? That sounds so terrible.
Like, I know he's supposed to be able to take the world on. What are you doing? And
how are you protecting me if you're crying? And that's what we have in our brain. That's not the truth, but that's what we have in our brain. But the problem is, we don't really understand. If we go the other side, I think what we need to do so many times is sit right in the middle of a spectrum. And stop trying to be that side of super hard or that side and super emotional. You have to do this middle. Of course it's hard.
Society dictates another way. And then, like, perfect example, we was having a conversation. Women say, I don't mind if my boyfriend, husband, my partner cries on me.
To a point.
There you go.
It was in Friends. Yeah. They tried to open up Bruce Willis's character, and then he couldn't stop crying.
Yes. Perfect. And it's...
And she's like, stop now.
It's not a weakness, but it is a weakness, because you kind of... Like, as you look at your dad, even your girlfriend, wife, woman, whoever, needs you That's what you are in nature, to be the stronger one. You're there as the protector, the stronger one.
I remember, and this is the role that I got given, when my dog died, which is so, it's emotional. I completely get it. But when my dog died, my partner at the time was a mess.
Yep.
Which allowed me not to be.
Yes. So one of you can
because
be
I
weak.
didn't have to be. But he actually took it away from me, which I was so glad, because I wouldn't be able to function, because it was my dog, not his dog, shared and whatever. But they were, and so if we're both messing, no one's going to pick each other
Exactly
up. I need
that. And
one
that's
of
what
you
happened
to pick me up
in my marriage.
and I need to pick up or whatever.
It happened in my marriage. It happened with my kids. Like the stuff that I went through with my kids, the stuff that I went through at work. I would laugh about it in the sense of, oh yeah, mate, boy, he cracked his head open. Someone bottled him. But when you actually really think about
I know, that's
my
horrendous.
God, he's ended up with 100 stitches in his face.
Yeah.
But to me, it was normal because
Yeah,
I
but
made
he's
it
well
normal.
hard now.
But do you know what I mean? It's kind of like you have to, for guys, oh yeah, well I beat him up. It's all, and I'm going to say bullshit.
Yeah.
It's all bollocks.
Yeah.
It's society's way that men must be one way and women are another way.
That's a way of Callan trying to get into the conversation. You
Oh,
remember?
no, I was just clearing my throat. But funny enough, I do actually have one question for you, Scott, regarding your therapy. Do you feel, I know it's still early doors, but do you feel it's getting easier or do you feel it's getting harder?
I'm at the stage where it's getting harder. I've done the bit where you build the trust in the therapist and you learn. They kind of give you like virtual tools and stuff that you can do so they have to make sure that you're safe before they go and, I suppose in the best way, break you down to rebuild you, right? But I'm at the most difficult part of it. I want to do it one for me. That's probably 50% is for myself because I want my life to be better, not have to worry about all the pain and carry the baggage with me and bits and pieces. And I want to be able to move on and give, if I end up with another partner, bits and pieces, give the right things to that person rather than not realising you're damaging your partner, your children. Not that I'm completely to blame for some of the emotions of my children, but I could have been...
You could be the perfect dad and they'll still be like, you fucked us up.
Yeah, but as in give the children what they need. So the other half of it is for my children and for their children, and obviously not to be this... Like they used to call me Grumpy Dad. Grumpy Bald Man. That was what they used to call me. Seriously.
Not the mama.
Yeah. And then like you tell them off and it was like that whole stigma of like 70s, 80s, you've been naughty, whack. Rather than actually figuring them out.
Also, that does feed into the phrase of like, wait until your dad comes home.
And that's exactly
Which,
what
by
my
the
ex-wife
way,
did.
was like scary
right,
as, you
children
know.
playing up your dad. Blah, blah, blah.
I have it when I'm in supermarkets. I'm like, be quiet or that man's going to tow you off. I was like, I'm not telling anyone off. Carry on. I don't care. You leave in a minute.
Yeah, and
Don't
it's
make me
the
out to
whole
be the
stigma of the
scary
world.
man.
The big scary man's coming in. Like my nephews, like my sister does it to me now. Oh, you wait till Uncle Scott gets here. You're in trouble. He told you to tidy his room. And I'm thinking...
I don't want to be known as that.
Yeah, do you know what I mean? It's like...
Just
what?
cancel Christmas like most parents. Come on.
Yeah, you've been... But anyway, that's probably... Obviously, it is hard. And I'm at a difficult time.
But you're getting through it.
I'm getting through it.
That's the most important thing. Right, and I noticed you guys didn't ask me how I was and how my week was. And the
No,
reason for that
because
is
the main
I
reason-
literally flew back on Monday. My flight was cancelled.
Yeah,
Hot
well, I
topic.
knew what the hot topics was going to be,
Yeah,
and it was
beautiful.
going to be bringing you in.
I think that was a great link.
That's
I was
why.
thinking that in my head anyway. That's
Yeah,
why I said
as we were
what I
just
said,
like all
but
ignoring you, it's fine.
Telepathic mind.
Here we go.
He is a
Anyway,
bit needy today, right?
hot
You've
topics
noticed that as
number one is the airport crisis.
Sorry, what was that? The airport crisis.
Yeah.
I haven't not heard of this. What's been
No,
going on?
it's
No, because
been-
I've not been on holiday.
I have, and Scott says I haven't got a tan. Do you think I've got my face is tanned, isn't it?
For a
There we
vampire.
go. Oh, that's shocking. That is.
He's been to
That's
Tenerife. That's
borderline-
how he come back.
That's borderline racist. To be fair, I didn't really do any sunbathing. If I was busy every day doing excursions.
Are you peeling?
No.
Well, then you're fine. Suntan just means sort of early skin cancer, so don't worry about it if you're not overly getting tanned.
No, I just applied a lot of after sun.
That's
Banana
good, man.
boated right up.
That's- anyway, yeah, the airline. What happened? What's
Anyway,
going
yeah.
on?
So, airport crisis. People are getting stranded abroad and cannot get flights. EasyJet have just cancelled 200 flights on short notice. TUI has just announced 180 cancellations at Manchester Airport from now until the end of June. So it doesn't look like there's any chance of this stopping anytime soon. If you were in a position where you were taking your family away or back home, do you think your mental health is in a good enough place to remain calm?
Mate, my parents are stressed going to Cornwall when I was a kid, let alone being stuck in an airport where you can't get home and you've got no money because you've spent all your bloody money. You know what I mean? Like, that must be... I would definitely rather be just by myself, right? I wouldn't want my family. I wouldn't want kids with me. It would just be absolute freaking nightmare. Because you have to keep it together. You have to man up, wouldn't you? In that situation. If everyone literally is losing their minds, you'd be like, right, okay, what we need to do is...
It's not... Obviously going back with what you said and what you've had, what happens, like you said, if you haven't got the money? How badly is that going to mess with you?
Fortunately, I was in a position where I did have money, where I could pay for me and my girlfriend to come back. But I took charge of that situation. I was like, right, is what it is. We got told when we were in the airport not in the airport, so in a hotel in Tenerife. Like, we thought, right, we'll go there anyway and see if there's anyone there and we can get put up in a hotel, maybe another flight. They didn't even message me. My dad told me. He was like, yeah, don't think you're coming home today. Flight's cancelled. I was like, oh, God. Well, I just went there anyway.
That's the polite way to put it.
Yeah. I was trying not to swear on here, but...
well, there's been like
swearing
already,
watching.
so
You never know who's watching out of the 35 people that do watch it.
50.
Come on.
But, yeah, so
they're just a subscribers as well.
They just went, oh, I didn't even tell you this, right? So went there, thought, right, we're not getting on that flight. So I booked another flight with Jet2 late on that day on a site called Opodo, and they closed their online bookings, Jet2, like 5 hours before their flight. So I basically paid like £150 flights, went to Jet2 and said, oh yeah, it's already booked, fully booked. So I got that money back next day. So I thought, had the highs of going home, the lows of thinking I'm not, the highs of going home, the lows are not. Then bought a flight for the next day and just got a hotel just around the corner, 5-star. So get ready, Wizz Air. You're going to get absolutely rifled with this compensation claim.
But could you imagine, okay, you was with your girlfriend, but imagine having kids.
And your grandparents.
Oh, God, it was hard. Like, there was this family we met in the hotel we stayed for the night. And she paid £500 for flight. She was with her partner and 2 kids.
Nah, I would have, in the politest way, lost my...
in the end, if you can, just pay, get home, sort it out.
I mean, I did.
You're not going to win.
There was various times when I did, and my language was pretty colourful to people, but in the end,
I understand it.
Calmness overcame, and I was just like, right, it's just another obstacle. Let's just get home. And by the time we were back, my mind was so tired. I was like, let's just a few beers and just chill. Really.
But I get that.
Yeah.
I literally would have lost my... I've been to the airport once and like, sorry sir, you have to print out your ticket. I went, what are you for?
Yeah, you didn't do the 24-hour check-in beforehand, and you've now got to go to back of the line and go and do that little till there.
50 quid.
And then it's 50 quid. I love watching people losing their minds on EasyJet when they've taken their little hand luggage through and then it doesn't fit in the thing at the back, at the door, the gate, and you can see them and they're like, well, mate, it's 55 quid. And they're like, I'm not paying 55 quid. And I'm just like...
Yeah.
It's also when they do the weighing thing. 25 kilo. It's 26. Sorry, sir. That's £1 million you now owe us.
We had
your eyeballs and your left arm.
We had 20 kilos, and I was touched him. I have like an electronic digital reader. My nan gave us, and I was literally touching it 20 on the dot.
Right.
So it's like, right, you can't buy anything out there. No, we did buy a few bits out there and just
wore
a
them.
few bits around. But on the way back, there was these 3 girls who couldn't board the flight because they couldn't. Their hand luggage was too big. They didn't board the flight. They couldn't pay, so they're stuck in Tenerife. So if you can't pay the bags, that means you can't buy a new flight. That means you can't buy a hotel for the night, surely. So they didn't board the flight.
It's a bit like when people get charged for not paying their taxes. I was like, well, they didn't pay their taxes. What are you charging them?
Yeah, but when you got for example, them group of girls, right, have gone out there. Let's have some fun. Spent all their money. The flight's paid for. We don't need the hotel anymore. What the hell do I need money for? I've only got to get back to
you got to hope that one of your friends' parents are balling and they give you an American Express card to sort you the crap out. You got to hope.
me personally, I wouldn't have been impressed. I would not have been impressed.
Yeah, I mean, I had a few experiences which I'll keep off the podcast just because, yeah.
Can we have an aftershave?
Yeah, I'll tell you guys after. If anybody wants to know, just DM.
Oh yeah, can we?
Instagram.
I want to have that aftershave party before I just kick my mic everywhere.
Yeah, so someone who has actually just caught a flight. Hot topic number 2 is Johnny Depp. He was in the UK yesterday.
He was playing the gig, wasn't he?
I can't remember who it was, but he was on stage with someone who was performing.
Yeah.
Hot topic number 2 is, we touched on this, I think, in 7 or 8, but yeah, the trial now is finished, and the jury I think they've got 24 hours to give their result or something like that.
I thought they'd done it.
No, not. It did finish.
It's obvious what that is.
48. Yeah,
it's
pretty much. Right?
Unless you want to have sex with Amber Heard, like when the juror's like, I still think she's
hot. I wouldn't go near her with a 10-foot barge pole after that. Yes, she was extremely fit. No, you just ugly.
I know the problem about it all is relationships are so complicated. And my problem with my situation of relationships is actually my partner or ex-partners that people I've been out with, they would say that they would, I think we spoke about this before, but they would say they would do something like pretty bad towards me, but then my reaction would be worse.
Yeah.
And then you look worse. And this is what relationships are. The element of like who can hold their craziness in for the longest. And hopefully the person is crazier than you. And that's what's happened. Because Johnny's crazy, yeah?
He's not the full ticket, but obviously that's why his characters work so well, right?
Yeah, of course. But at the same time, then with Amber, like, you just get enveloped in that whole world, and then you're going out with Johnny Depp and all this stuff, and then it just gets a bit crazy, and then you start pushing the boundaries. Like, what is her mental? Like, the thing is, right? Imagine she just goes and kills herself tomorrow. Well, how is everyone going to feel with all these right things? You know what I mean? Like,
kind of where I'm going with this. Yeah. So, yeah, following the performance of Johnny Depp's lawyers, it looks increasingly likely that he's going to win the case. Yeah.
Yep.
Amber has constantly lied and acted in court. She's been called out by Camila Vasquez, who is one of Johnny's attorneys.
She pledged the money. No,
causing
didn't give the money. I pledged the money.
Causing her to be dropped from Aquawoman permanently, and more people to turn on her. She's just released a statement saying people want to kill me, and they tell me that every day. People want to put my baby in the microwave.
That's a bit too far. Yes, she's a crazy batshit.
Yeah, but it's so easy for someone to say that. Yeah. It's especially on Twitter. That
keyboard
person
warriors, isn't it?
So if she's proven guilty, is it fair that she is now having to deal with all of this negativity?
Yes and no.
If you put your head above the parapet, unfortunately, you will get burnt. If you do Love Island, you do X Factor, you do Britain's Got Talent, you're putting yourself up there to be a person of... that someone's going to say something to you. And if one person says you should put your baby in the microwave, that's one person out of 7 billion people. Like, you cannot take that stuff serious. I don't care.
But in fairness, didn't she kind of start this all by herself?
Yeah, but people start stuff, don't they? They do. They think they're going to win. They think they're going to be fine. Because he does seem crazy on the outside. They both seem crazy. And that's why they made, like, the couple they were.
Yeah, but why?
If she kills herself tomorrow,
she doesn't.
When Amy Winehouse died and stuff like that, you should have seen like all the people like, shit, we shouldn't have said all those jokes about her. Because literally they're just taking the mick out of her mental health and taking the mick out of her drug addict and an alcoholic. Like, what the hell are you doing?
Oh, yeah, that's pretty. No, she doesn't deserve someone to kill her or threaten to kill her children, but she does deserve the bit where she gets dropped from Aquaman.
Yeah.
Oh no,
she deserves all that
she
kind
can
of
lose
stuff.
her career. She
deserves a backlash from it. Yeah,
you can lose your career.
Obviously, there's still a line, no matter who you are.
But obviously, nobody deserves. I'd imagine this is going to, when the jury comes back and says, "Yes, Johnny Depp's
hey
great."
Mate, though, would you watch a reality TV show with her? Because I definitely would now. You know what I mean? That she'll make the money somewhere else. She'll be fine.
Somebody's going to sell her side of the story again, and it's going to end up back in court.
Of course.
Yeah.
Make a film of it. You give the rights to it, write a book, whatever. You know what I mean? Like, you're fine.
I mean, who made the biggest fool out of themselves, her or her lawyer? Did you see how her lawyer was?
Hey,
she was shocking, wasn't she?
Objection.
Yeah.
Well, you're objecting. You asked the question.
Go for a book like that. It's in here. It's in here somewhere.
Peppa Pig. Has anyone been to Peppa Pig World?
Yeah. Good old Boris. You deserve to be a hot topic, but we don't want to speak about you today.
No.
Unfortunately.
No,
Yeah.
so what else is our hot topics?
So yeah, well, obviously we flew through that quite quickly.
airline
and quite
and
quickly
depth like
is
that.
the year that's going with in June.
What's
already.
going on?
1st of June is Pride Month.
Da, da, da.
Yes, Pride Day is on the 2nd of July this year in the UK. Of course, the whole of June is Pride Month. This year will be the 50th anniversary of celebrating Pride Month in the UK. Daniel, come to you because you've obviously said about your affiliation with Pride before. What does it mean to you?
Do you know, there's a couple of things. Right now, we just had Jake Daniels come out as a footballer at the age of 17 for Blackpool, which is commendable as crap. Like, that's amazing. For
Be that
him to
young.
do that, like, super young. That's a lot.
First person since Justin Fashanu
yeah,
won
yeah.
it in 1991.
Yeah, and he was like a black gay man.
Yeah.
But that kind of says to me that as a society, obviously other people that have come out couldn't come out earlier because society would have frowned upon it.
Yeah,
Is that the
big
right
time,
word?
100%.
Now he must feel comfortable enough.
He's young enough to not be scarred by the past.
Yes,
That's the difference.
but he
right
knows
now.
he's also going to be. is
Mate,
the
he
right
got
word?
picked up by Adidas like that.
About-
They couldn't have jumped on him any quicker.
Right, so there was perks and pros and cons to both bit coming out early on in your career,
And the
right?
earlier you come out, the less people you have people to sell stories on you as well. Like, you know, if you do stuff like that early enough, then there's less people in waiting queues waiting to say, yeah, I went out and they're
Yeah,
horrible.
but perfect example, Adidas, straight on it,
Straight on it.
boom.
Straight
So
on
obviously he has the right to come out and say.
it. Yeah.
But obviously there was also
gotta sell-
someone
you gotta
pushing
sell
that
yourself,
you
mate.
need to do this now.
Yeah, yeah.
Society's ready, but there's this contract.
And
This one,
and
this
so
one.
and so, you know, with Pride and stuff like that, I think people kind of forgot. We just had I don't know if any of you watched it. It's a Sin that was on Channel 4. It was an amazing program about the AIDS epidemic and stuff like that in the 80s and how people kind of treated other people. That if you're going out with someone and they were dying, you weren't allowed to be anywhere near them because you were classed as family. If you live together, it doesn't make any difference. All that sort of stuff. They just sort of died in a room by themselves and. Everyone made up their own rules. You couldn't touch the same cup. You couldn't, you know, sit in the same toilet seat. All the stuff we did with COVID, like we've never learned. We've never looked at history books ever. We just did exactly the same, ostracizing people, saying people couldn't be around each other. You know, the thing is about Pride is that a lot of companies will jump on it to make money themselves. They think it's raising awareness, and I think that's completely fine. But the only thing I think about Pride right now is all it does is just ostracize bloody straight people, which, by the way, make most of the fucking gay people around. My parents are straight and they made me. You know what I mean? Like, and they're still part of that world, but we're just having all these kind of individual camps of people and just saying, right, we're this and we're this. And literally, my mum and stepdad went and saw a show years and years, and it was like, oh, big up to all the LGBTQ people out there and stuff like that. And we love you all. And my mum was just like, I made one. You know what I mean? Like, she's like, me?
And should it
it's
be
just
an issue
ostracized.
anymore? That's my point.
Mate, it's always an issue because I can't walk down the street holding my partner's hand without getting shit. No, definitely. Because all it takes is one person. You know, no one is going to say anything from you holding your girlfriend's hand or your wife's hand. No one.
Really, I didn't think.
Yeah. Well,
Obviously, working
if
as
I
a
worked in-
doorman
if-
in bits and pieces and doing so.
yeah.
It was kind of.
Yeah, but you would never see it because you were not it. So there are still problems. There are still problems, and don't get me wrong. Like, I don't let one person ruin it. So if I am walking down the street and I want to hold someone's hand, I will. I don't care. Like, you know what I mean? I try not to turn to violence and go and slap people like Will Smith, but I would be like, shut the. I remember walking over the Carriston Bridge and I saw these two young people. I thought, anyway, who cares with the girls and boys? It doesn't make any difference. And anyway, they were gay and they're holding hands. And I walked past them and I was just like staring at them. And I literally had to, now make me sound more crazy, I literally had to go, I'm staring at you because I think you cool, well done for doing that and stuff like that. And they just looked at me like as a nutter. But it is still a problem. Like my
but, okay, it is a problem. But from being a straight person, seeing Pride, I couldn't go to it.
No?
No. Even though like we're friends.
Yeah.
I couldn't go to it.
Why?
Because I'm straight.
Nah, you could go
What?
to it.
No. No, right. So, okay. Perfect example.
Here we go.
It is, well, like, me and you can go to the pub and feel, yeah?
Yeah.
Doesn't matter whether I'm straight, you're gay,
Yeah.
it doesn't matter. Soon as you go to the thing, it is literally camp gay,
Yeah.
camp straight. There is no mixing.
Yeah, it's called bisexuals.
But you understand what I'm trying to say.
No. If you went to Pride, no one give a shit. You have to take that. You have to take it on that people might say, "Hey, you're hot," and you're like, "Hey, I'm not. I'm actually straight." And they're like,
but I
"Oh,
am
cool." Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Hey, you're hot. So, but at the same time, like, that's fine. I remember taking my friend to a gay bar, and when we left, he was really upset. I was like, "What's the matter?" He was like, "No one fucking looked at me." Am I ugly in the? He went, "Am I ugly in the gay world?" I was like, "Maybe. I don't know."
When I've done the security at gay bars,
Yeah.
it's like that. If I didn't get a slap on the ass, well, out.
What's wrong with me?
Mate, listen, seriously.
I want that wolf whistle.
I've
Come
made
on.
an effort that I was in the gym before.
Come on.
Done my hair and everything.
But it is a difficult situation, and you know the youth is never going to kind of have an idea about what came before, and nor should they really, because it doesn't really affect them at this moment. But you see what's just happened in America, where the ladies not allowed to have abortions. It won't be too far before they'll be like, right, we're going to take away gay marriage again. It won't be. Definitely.
So, yeah, but do you think, obviously...
And then we have to fight for it all again. And then we're like, oh yeah, it's fine. You know.
But we fight for it. But, okay, well, obviously before this, we said about gay pride, and obviously it's going to be one of the hot topics. You're not overly... As a gay man, I thought you would have been, behind it 100%, but you're not behind it 100%. Why are you not 100% behind it?
I'm not embraced by pride at all.
Why?
Because I'm not do you know gay terminology of stuff? I'm not a twink. I'm not white and blonde. I'm not.
Sorry, what?
Yeah, then honestly,
So there's even in
yeah.
gay world, I suppose you would.
We have to do a whole topic on this one. I'll tell you.
Wow.
There's not enough time. There's not enough
There's
time.
racism separate.
Yeah, there's loads. Yeah, yeah. It's not real. It's so difficult. There are some questions that are asked that are so not okay that I literally will only get asked by people who are gay. And I'm like, why were you asking that question?
Like what? Heck, what? I don't get it.
So, say, this can still happen in straight up, but say you started going out with someone that wasn't white. There'll be an element of, if you didn't tell your friends that they weren't whatever, right?
Right.
They'll be like, when they walk in, they're like, you never told me she was from Japan. There'll be an element of those sort of things that sort of happens in life, okay?
I see.
Yeah. So there's a weird, that's not even racism and stuff. But when it comes to different nationalities, if you go on dates with people, they'll be asking very intimate questions about these people. Like, people ask me, like, really inappropriate sort of stereotypes situations.
Wow. So it's...
and they think that it's okay because they've
Mate,
got
that would
different
be the
sexuality.
first thing. No. The gay people ask me, the same thing. And the funny thing is, I've always said this, in the LGBTQ stuff situation, the most hatred towards each other is each other. Gays are horrible to gays. Lesbians are horrible to lesbians. Really? And they all hate each other.
I thought it was like a massive, without being rude,
mate.
From a straight man's point of view.
How many times
it seems like you're all united.
How many times you've seen lesbians and gays just hanging out all the time? You don't.
No, you don't, do you?
You don't. And people give bisexuals like the worst time ever. Like, if anyone says they're bi, like, mate, you're just gay, mate. You know what I mean? They're not. You just shut it down straight away. But what if they are? You have no idea. And it's so difficult. And then we have trans and stuff like that. And then that's become a different thing, because that's actually to do with what sex you are more than it's a sexuality thing. But then you put that on top. It is literally a clusterfuck with so many things.
Isn't that what Pride's about? All the different, not just, I don't know.
Yeah, but they try to put it together with like the Bane stuff. And I was like, everyone's freaking different. You can't put black and Asian people together and say they're the same. That's mental. Not. Culturally, they're not the same.
No.
You know what I mean? No one goes out to the high street to go and have an English. Well, maybe an English breakfast. That is yummy.
I never thought of that.
You know what I mean? There's so many different cultural things, and so when it comes to Pride, I think what they're trying to do is they're trying to just tick one big box, and that's what we're doing. I was like, okay, cool. Who's playing? They're like, Cheryl Cole. I was like, amazing. Why? Because gays love her. Okay. What about the lesbians? They like her. Bis. Trans. You know what I mean? Like, who is this person for?
Yeah, it's ticking the majority box.
You can have Boy George though. He'll work anywhere. Boy George was anywhere. I hosted Pride before I did X Factor, and he just smashed the crowd. And he was in a terrible place then in 2007, but he smashed it.
So are you going to Pride?
No.
Is that just because you're busy, or?
A couple of things. It's too busy. It's way too busy.
Mm-hmm.
People were like, why are you not playing? Why are you just walking around the crowd? And I'm like, that is true. Why are we not playing?
What are you doing there? You
Should be singing, knocking on the door stuff. Come on.
Mate, get up there. Do your thing.
Don't get me wrong. I think it's absolutely fine. I think that we might have just lost what it means. And now even I don't know what it means.
Wow, that says a lot.
That is
right?
powerful.
That is powerful. That says a hell of a lot.
I don't know what it means. I don't. I honestly.
And how long have you thought that over a period of time? When can you say you were first really passionate about Pride, and how far has the drop been?
The main reason people go to Pride is to pool.
Really? Yeah, of course it is. Thinking about it, it's like one of them big super clubs that's everybody's in the same boat as you.
Yeah.
Fair enough. Good point.
People are like, who's fit? You see how much like Tinder and Grindr and that stuff, like, bing, 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 like literally. Imagine you just went there and you were just going there.
So Grindr would go up massive, literally that day. Boom, boom, boom. It would think they're like
location.
Yeah, Pride Month.
Locations.
Like,
where is the closest gate? All around you. All around.
Pick one, anyone.
You'll be happy if you're a farmer there, because when there's normally only one like 20 miles down the road, you're like, well, I'm gonna have to get the tractor out. You know what I mean?
But so,
get down the co-op.
So we've obviously touched on with what Callan said.
Yeah.
So obviously at one point you must have been, yes, Pride is.
No, I love. Back in the day, I loved going to like a gay bar or something like that. Like in Chiswick was like the first one I ever went to, and when I was at college, and I think it was amazing because I felt like, oh, actually, I could have one boyfriend, son, and no one cared. And loads of the straight students were there as well. Like everyone was there, but no one cared because it was ours. It's a bit like going to Mykonos. They call it straight friendly. You can come, but shut the hell up. You know what I mean? I don't want any prejudice. Like, just shut up.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, oh, why are they kissing over there? Well, why are you kissing your girl from there? It's the same thing. You know what I mean? But all of it is just exposure. If you haven't seen like two guys kissing, like, then you're like, well, that's weird. But if you saw it every day for a year, be like, okay.
Yeah, standard.
Yeah.
Obviously,
it's the same with
at
trans.
secondary school, if you see two guys, you're like, oh my God, what the fuck?
Yeah.
Mate, what are you doing? What are you doing? That's not.
Yeah.
But it's only when I got into the
Literally, I was like this.
Like in the nightclub where I work in gay bars,
Yeah.
it become normal. Then I realised, and it's really weird, in a gay bar, you've got what I call the camp gays. Then you've got gays that you don't even know.
Oh, you wouldn't even know.
You wouldn't even know gay. Then you've got the geezer gay, and I'm like, what the? But then it's kind of like all different ones, and I'm like, because obviously the stereotype, when you think of a gay man, you think camp.
Well,
correct?
you think of the one that you can see.
Yes.
You know what I mean?
Even like my auntie's friend,
Yeah.
for years,
Yeah,
didn't
no.
know he was gay.
No.
It was only when I was working, I was like, oh.
Yeah, you're not married. What's going on?
It didn't kind of, but obviously I would never, like the stereotype. Okay.
It's funny, the kids that I know that have like a gay uncle, or I've been in a life and I've had a partner and stuff like that, they couldn't give a crap. The kids that I don't see all the time, and they'd be like, do you have a girlfriend? I'm like, no, I'm gay. And they're like, what? I've never met one. I was like, okay.
So, what would you want Pride to be?
Oh, that's a difficult question, but on the spot, what do you want it to
I
be?
think the problem is that we allow it right now on social media and everything. We spoke about this before. We allow, and we just said it about like putting a baby in the microwave when there's people saying this Amber Heard. We allow 1 or 7 or 10 or 100 comments to ruin our day when 1 million people couldn't care.
So if you were walking down the road in Phil, right?
Yeah.
With your boyfriend,
Mm-hmm.
someone like me on the other side of the road going, faggot, blah, 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 fucking, would it bother you?
No.
But do you think it'd bother your partner?
Yeah.
There you go. So would you get upset because your partner's got upset? Because obviously you're, I suppose,
I'm not
used to it. Not that anyone should be used to that, but
No.
what I mean as in,
Well, I mean, to be honest, for me, words isn't really like, I'm like, okay. Like, who cares? Like, honestly, for me, and I know you might just think I'm strong in this way, and because I've had so much stuff thrown at me in my entire life, and maybe I am, but at the same time, people's opinions are people's opinions. And what if I could turn you around? What if I could sort of say to you, actually, what's the reason you said this? It's like, actually, like, something happened when I was younger with someone, like, you know, blah, blah, blah. And that's why, and it makes me feel really uneasy, and had a conversation with you. Instead of just thinking that you were just horrible and you were just saying that, yet again, it's another exposure thing. If you've never seen it and blah, 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 and that's what, maybe you have Tourette's. Who knows? You know what I mean? There's so many reasons, but everyone's just going to be like, oh, it's against me. I was like, it's not.
That is yet another link. I tell you what, the links have been superb today, haven't they? Words of wisdom.
Here we go.
I mean, you're welcome to go again, Daniel, if you want, but of course you just said a lot of wisdom there. So I'm going to go
Scott.
with me.
Oh, sorry, Kevin. Sorry.
We keep leaving him out today.
So
He's getting a bit upset.
Cut. Press stop on the recording now.
Here we go. We're going to go over to
I'll
Callan.
do my words of wisdom, then I'll press stop.
Yeah, but you always have a good words of wisdom.
Of course he
Here
does.
we go,
He's using a
listen to
website.
this one. Ready?
It's fine.
Your mind will always believe everything you tell it. Feed it with truth, feed it with faith, feed it with love.
Oh,
Mate, how would you follow us? That just...
that's good.
Mine one was
That was
life is a
good.
journey.
Life is a journey.
That was it. And obviously to me, that meant a lot. But obviously when you come out with someone after that, it's game over, isn't
I
it?
know.
I'm just going to quote.
You need to get on this app, I'm telling you.
Yeah, we need to get on the apps.
What, so we can cheat as well, rather
Yeah.
than actually
Yeah.
go with the emotions of the heart.
No, exactly that.
I had a really lovely quote is if you ever want to give up in life and you want it to stop, hold your breath. And your body will say you can't stop because you will take a breath.
Wow.
Oh, well,
That was-
that one beat.
That was good.
That was
yeah.
I didn't come up with it myself. I saw it on social.
Are you
but, like,
cheating?
no, I've got nothing
Did you
here.
go straight onto that website?
I've got nothing here. Look at this. I've got literally.
Give you the gold medal on that
Oh,
one,
wow.
Daniel.
Yeah.
And yeah, upon that gold medal is the wrapping up of episode 17. It's been a good one, hasn't it, guys?
Be nice.
It's been a good one.
Lots going on.
After 2-week break, we're back firing on all
Also,
cylinders.
just before we have next week, we have a
Special guest.
a special guest.
Oh, sorry. So not my Apple Watch. Is that not what we're going for?
No,
No.
mate. No.
Sorry. We have what next week?
A guy called Alex Holmes.
Oh, nice.
He's obviously an author of
Obviously.
mental health. Oh my God. Men's mental health.
Yes.
All right. Gate straight.
Does that
doesn't
mean I'm
matter.
going to have to move across again and sort of be
Yeah, yeah.
back in the bush?
You're going to be in that bush.
I'm going to be in the bush.
Wearing
aren't
it.
I
It's going to be
literally.
in the middle of your leg.
Basically,
I don't mind that,
move
it's fine.
over. We've
Yeah.
got someone more important.
I think we'll probably put the bush
We might put
to
him
the
there
side.
actually and put you underneath the camera.
That's fine. I'll just sit where Callan is on this squeaky chair.
Yeah, we can't wait till Alex is back on. And just to touch on, guys, you can see on the camera right now, the TV there. If you want to sponsor this podcast, you can have your logo there. Any props you'd like on the table, and we'll give you a shout out too. So get in touch with us if that fits what you're after. Right, cheers, guys. See you next week.
See you next
That's
week.
a wrap.